Hi, ladies. It's Carolyn Moor with Modern Widows Club, and we have a new topic. It is March 2022. Now, this month's topic is your wealth and health are connected. It's under the pillar of financial health, of course. But let me just talk a little bit here. Finding your financial balance is all about having choices. No matter the financial circumstances that you have found yourself in or the reality, it is constantly changing. And it's important to learn more about how the wealth and the health are connected to the choices that we make in widowhood. I can tell you, in all the years that I became widowed, I have seen highs, lows, in between, trying to figure out, stressing, being relieved. It has run the gamut of the emotions around financial health. We know people in the world who have great wealth, and yet no matter their financial status, they cannot simply buy optimal health. That takes a whole new mindset of looking at your wealth and how to have it work with you and for you, right? We talk about the amount of great effort and the excellent choices that healthy people take all the time. But wealth is so much more than just financial. And that's what we're going to talk about this month. The value of knowledge and experience is that it gives you a hand up on making the vital decisions at hand, and so that you can feel confident about them. Ultimately, that's what it comes down to. A lot of the fear and the uncertainty based around financial health is the fact that we just don't understand the right choice to make. But choices do have to be made. And when those decisions are made, that rolls into a new decision. And so it's not fear making the decisions around our financial health. So this month, we're just focused on all of that. It's just more about the simple financial. It's not just about simple financial stability. It's about a mindset stability, okay? Early in my widowhood, I spent the first year kind of determining what I wanted for my future financial life to look like. I was young. I was 36 years old. I had 2 daughters. I knew that I had to make some really hard decisions about my home, about my savings and my investments, but also I had just those really small children to think about long term, right? They were only 2 and 4. So I had a long ways to think outward. What do I want when they're grown? And so, I had all these future decades in the future down the road, trying to make decisions in the everyday, right? But here I am, 20 plus years later, and some of what I planned came true, and it worked, right? It worked well. But as life will have it, some did not. I like that saying, we don't plan to fail, we fail to plan. And making a plan, even for a day or a week or a month or a year or a decade, needs your attention now, okay? I also like the saying, what I appreciate, appreciates. And that sums up how I feel most about financial wealth and health. Every widow in history who's alive on earth today is right there, making those important decisions right along with you. And everyone's experience is unique in the factors and the components of making those choices, right? So we have so much to learn from one another around wealth, health, and longevity. So let's share all the hacks that we have all discovered and draw from that wisdom that we all have collectively. That's what we want to focus on this month. And I hope that you will share some of the things that you've learned, because if there's one topic that is probably the least favorite of a lot of our widows is financial health. And especially what are the things that are keeping us from talking about them and feeling more confident and self-assured about the decisions that we're making. I know that it can happen. And I know that the women in this organization have really great insights about it. So let's be sharing this month, okay? All right, so it's a new month, and so we have a new legendary widow role model, and you guys are gonna love this one, Queen Elizabeth II. The Queen of England is one of the, well, she's one of the most well-known women on earth. And as we know, she suffered the loss of her husband, Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh. He died at age 99 on April 9th last year. So, you know, next month is coming up on her first anniversary, and we know what that's like, right? Since then, Elizabeth II she has become one of the most popular widows in the world. After more than 73 years of marriage, a period in which she came to describe the Duke as her constant strength and guide. She is the longest living and longest reigning British monarch, the longest serving female head of state in the world's history, and the world's oldest living monarch. She, oh my gosh, is she, I don't know, is she, what age is she? She just had her big celebration. But she's also she was #1 on the list of the Sunday Times rich list, which was reported that she has a wealth of maybe like $5.2 billion. Who knows, right? Which included her state assets that were not hers personally, which is about $13 billion in value today. She has a quote, "When life seems hard, the courageous do not lie down and accept defeat. Instead, they are all the more determined to struggle for a better future." I love that saying by Queen Elizabeth II. She stepped into that role as a young woman. We know her story, but this month we're just talking about her as our legendary widow. Wouldn't it be great if we could all meet her? I think there'd be some things that we would not have in common, and I think that there would be some things that we would have in common. So there you go. Let's learn a little bit more about Queen Elizabeth II. So this month, some holidays and happenings that we have. It is National Women's History Month. Of course, we'll be focusing on widowed women. This day was established in 1987 as a way to celebrate women across the nation and their efforts to make the country and the world a better place for women of all ages and races. We'll be featuring some stories maybe about Osa Johnson and maybe Madame Veuve Clicquot. We love our women's stories here at MWC, and so let's share those if we happen to see some of other women that we don't know who are widowed. Let's see, March 2nd, we have Ash Wednesday, and then on March 8th is actually International Women's Day. And so we're definitely going to be featuring, that's a global day celebrating the cultural and political and social and economic achievements of women. Rosie Riveter. And so that day, why don't you share your widowed story and say International Women's Day, right? I am an empowered widowed woman. Share your story. And then March 13th, we've got for people who do the daylight savings time thing. And then we've got St. Patty's Day on March 17th, and then March 20th, spring happens. Yes, for those of you in the colder climates, I know you're happy about that. And then we've also got March 27th, which Passover starts. So lots of great things happening in March. I hope you ladies will share some of your financial health stories, because especially in a lot of our private kind of social sites, but also just, you know, in amongst all your widowed friends. Thank you for being a part of MWC. I hope you have a great March, and I will see you online.